I never thought my own father's last words would lead me into a nightmare. Right before he died, he grabbed my arm so hard his nails dug into my skin. His eyes were wide, terrified, like he was looking at something behind me instead of at me. Then he whispered something that still keeps me awake at night. "I can hear them. They're still down there." At the time, I thought the cancer had finally taken his mind. I thought maybe the medication, the pain, had finally broken him. But after watching the body cam footage he left behind, I realized something horrifying. My father wasn't crazy. He was trying to warn me. My father's name was Jim Simmons. He was a detective in Omaha. Missing children cases. The kind of job that slowly eats away at a person. The truth is, I barely knew him. When I was a kid, my mom took me and moved across the country. She said he had a mental breakdown. Said he became obsessed with something that destroyed our family. Growing up, I believed her. The few times I saw him after that, he always seemed distracted, like he wasn't really there. Sometimes his eyes would drift toward the floor while you were talking to him, like he was listening to something under it. Back then, I thought it was just trauma from the job. Detectives see terrible things, missing kids, broken families, cold cases that never get solved. But the night he died, something felt different. The hospital room was quiet, machines softly beeping. I watched the monitor next to him tick slower and slower. His breathing was shallow, his skin pale. Then suddenly, he grabbed my arm, hard. His fingers dug into my skin like he was afraid I'd disappear if he let go. His eyes locked onto mine, filled with fear and guilt. His lips trembled. "I can hear them. They're still down there. All those lights, all those rooms." I tried. A tear rolled down his face. I really tried. Then his voice cracked. I'm afraid I'll..." And before he could finish, the machine beside him went flat. Just like that, he was gone. I sat there in that hospital room long after he died. No one else was there, just silence. Eventually, I stepped outside and called my mom. It was 1 a.m. She answered after the third call. I told her he was gone. There was a long pause, then she sighed. "He was deranged, Alex," she said. "Whatever he told you, just forget about it." But I couldn't. Not after the way he looked at me. Not after the fear in his eyes. So I asked her about his apartment. He had given me the keys earlier that day. Immediately, she sounded annoyed. "What about it?" I told her maybe there was something there, something that could explain what he was talking about. She snapped back instantly. "Alex, whatever he was obsessed with ruined our family." I asked her what she meant, but like always, she avoided the question. Then she told me something strange. She begged me not to go there tonight. She wanted to come with me tomorrow. She wanted to be there. And then she asked me to promise something. She asked me to promise I wouldn't go alone. I told her I wouldn't, but I lied. 2 hours later, I was standing outside my father's apartment. The hallway was quiet, old carpet, flickering lights. I stared at the door. The key felt cold in my hand. Part of me felt guilty, but another part of me needed answers. So I unlocked it. The door creaked open as I stepped inside, and instantly, I felt it. That strange feeling, like someone else was already there, watching. The air was stale, like the windows hadn't been opened in years. The living room was almost empty. There was only one chair, a recliner, facing the wall. No couch, no TV, just stacks of books and papers everywhere, like someone had been investigating something for years. Then I noticed something on the wall behind the chair. At first, I thought it was stains, but when I moved closer and turned on my phone flashlight, my stomach dropped. The wall was covered in writing, black ink everywhere, different sizes, different directions. Some words were huge, others were tiny and squeezed between them. One sentence appeared over and over again. All these lights. Then another. All these rooms. My eyes moved faster across the wall. They followed it. We followed them. Don't go into the tunnels. That sentence was written again, and again, and again. Sometimes it said, do not go. But right next to it, do go. Like he couldn't decide which was worse. Then I slowly looked up, and I nearly threw up. The ceiling was covered too. Hundreds of scribbles. But right in the center, 3 words were carved into the drywall with a knife. Do you hear them? That's when I realized something. My father hadn't just gone crazy. He had been terrified. For a moment, I thought about leaving. Maybe my mom was right. Maybe this was the apartment of a man who had simply lost his mind. But then I noticed something strange. A blue light flickering from another room. I followed it down the hallway. Inside was a small office. A computer sat on the desk, still running. The monitor showed a blueprint, the tunnel systems under the city of Omaha. Then I saw something sitting next to the keyboard. An old newspaper, covered in dust. I picked it up and brushed it off. The date was April 20th, 2010. The headline read, 9 children missing. Below it were 9 school photos, 9 smiling 8th graders. Every one of them gone. Then I heard something behind me. A floorboard creaked. I spun around instantly, but no one was there. That's when I noticed the DVD case on the shelf. I picked it up. Written on the front in black marker were the words, Body Cam Footage, April 2010. My heart started pounding. I opened the case. A single disc inside. Without thinking, I inserted it into the computer. The screen asked for a password. I tried a few guesses. Nothing worked. Then I typed my own name, Alex. The computer unlocked, and suddenly, I felt worse than before. 4 video files appeared on the screen. I clicked the first one. The video opened with static, then the image cleared, and I saw him. My father, 10 years younger, healthy. He was adjusting the body camera on his chest, then he stepped out of a police car. The timestamp read 5:17 p.m. Bright sunlight filled the frame. He walked toward a parking garage. Another officer was waiting there. They were investigating 9 missing kids. 2 teenage witnesses were waiting nearby. Both looked terrified. My father asked what happened. One of the boys pointed toward a maintenance door. They went down there. My father asked why. The kid hesitated. Then he said something strange. They wanted to see the rooms. Apparently, kids at school had been talking about them. Underground rooms beneath the city. A homeless man told them about it. So the 9 kids followed him, down into the tunnels. The footage continued. My father opened the maintenance door. Inside was a spiral staircase, metal steps leading deep underground. He started descending. The sound of footsteps echoed. The deeper they went, the darker it became. Eventually, they reached the bottom. Firefighters and construction workers were waiting, standing around a blueprint table. One of them looked stressed. He said something strange. "We can hear them." The missing kids, talking, laughing, whispering, but they couldn't find them. They led my father through another tunnel, into a small concrete room filled with pipes. One pipe stuck out from the wall, about 8 inches wide. The worker pointed at it. "If you listen, you can hear them." My father knelt beside the pipe. He leaned closer. At first, nothing. Then suddenly, I heard it. Children laughing, giggling, whispering, like kids playing hide and seek. My father tapped the pipe. "Hello? Can anyone hear me?" The laughter continued, but none of the voices answered. Then one of the workers said something that made the entire room go silent. That pipe had been abandoned years ago. It wasn't connected to anything. No tunnels, no rooms, nothing. Just solid concrete. And yet, clear as day, the voices of the missing children were coming from inside it. The video ended, but when I looked back at the screen, I realized something terrifying. There were still 3 more recordings. And if the first video proved anything, it was that my father didn't lose his mind. He spent the rest of his life trying to answer one impossible question. If those kids weren't in the tunnels, then where exactly were their voices coming from? And after watching the next recording, I realized something even worse. Those voices, they're still down there.